All right, guys, welcome back to the Seriously Serious Show. Sometimes we take a moment where we get a little more serious, but actually with wisdom. This is called A Paige's Paige, and for you that don't know me, I am actually a therapist. I see teens and their parents in hopes that they can come to a place where they can resolve some of their conflicts, as well as maybe gain some new understanding of some of the stuff that teenagers are going through. Today, I want to talk to you a little bit about having knowledge. You know, in the Bible, it talks a little bit about having zeal without knowledge is meaningless. Well, the same thing goes with us and our opinions. We all have opinions. We all have thoughts, and usually we share them on social networking sites and Twitter feeds and whatever else. We are prompted to discuss why we feel the way that we do, but do we often take time to think why we truly believe what we do? Parents oftentimes give you that whole lecture of, no, you shouldn't do this, and yes, you should do this. But do they talk to you about the whys you shouldn't do things? That's the most important part, and that's where you're going to be challenged the most. You're going to be asked at some point, if not already, about drugs, about alcohol, about sex, about friends, about future, about college, about relationships. You're going to be asked about all of those things, and you need to know where you stand and why you stand there. The same thing goes with faith. You cannot have your parents' faith and allow that to be sustainable. It's never sustainable. You have to come up with your own beliefs, your own theories, and your own wisdom. So when it comes down to some of the bigger questions about abstaining from drugs, alcohol, sex, think about why you do that. And again, know where you're coming from. Your parents will tell you one thing, and I think you should adhere to their wisdom because they're able to actually look back on their life and gain insight from that. They always say that hindsight is 20/20. And what that means is they've been through where you're at. They know the temptations, and they're able to actually discern if something was a good choice or a bad choice. So definitely take into what they consider wisdom to be that they do have good insight. But also come from the perspective of why. That's so important, guys. And I really challenge you to figure out where you stand, because ultimately someone's going to challenge that in you. And you need to have a secure answer, because if your foundation isn't secure, then when the storm comes or when you're faced with that temptation, you got to stand firm on something. And if it isn't sustainable, if it isn't substance, and if it isn't strong, then you're going to be left with nothing. And that will never leave you contented. That's Paige's Paige today. I encourage you that if you want to know a little bit more about the whys behind abstaining from sex, drugs, alcohol, even relationships to some degree, we offer something called Soul Medics here. Soul Medics are trained adults who want to listen to you. We may not always have the answer, and sometimes that's not even what you're seeking. But we do offer the opportunity to talk, because here we want to chat, listen, and love you where you're at. You can hook up with one of these Soul Medics on our site by clicking the Chat Now button or texting the word Remedy to 313131. Again, figure out the whys behind your behavior. And then I think you can ultimately make some very wise choices. Thanks, guys.